happening, lads? How we doing?
Very well.
All right, but that looks really weird to have you and no Corbett. But I guess at the end of the day, I don't know whether you class it as a good thing or a bad thing.
Don't know if you heard. I'm now the media darling. So after the weekend, I'm the media darling, and Corbett's been sacked. He's been cancelled. So that's it. But I've had one appearance on Sports Sound, and that's me. But they fucking cut me off the podcast. So mustn't have been that good.
Oh God! Can I just predict something here and say that we don't have Tam's audio? Is that no just
that's fucking brilliant?
Typical. Can everyone hear Tam speaking?
I can hear him speaking.
I know you can. You idiot.
Why are you predicting that?
Through YouTube, I've just switched it on. No, I can definitely hear him on YouTube. Is it Corbett that told you that he's actually not able to hear him?
No, it's not that. I can't see his audio spiking, like he's talking. So I would suggest he's not. Okay.
Everyone can hear me. Sound, it's class.
Everyone's saying, yeah, he's fine.
Back to me being the media darling.
Alright, cool. Well, I've made a Ricky Hunt of this. Apologies, everyone in listening land. Carry on.
So, it's fine. That's fine. I have to ask the question then, Tam, you brought it up. How was your experience of being on live radio?
You know how I'm a bit of nervous wreck doing this?
Yes.
Aye. Pretty much that, to be honest with you.
You'd be nervous on radio than you would be standing in front of a judge because you had done something wrong. I was going to say someone else there, but I'll keep that to myself. Like you would do something wrong with. So.
It's coming in well though, not I think.
Damn it!
It's been a few weeks now, and it's struggling, but we'll get there.
I'm feeling we could actually just put some cream at the top of your lip, and Scott's fucking Ando's cat could come up and lick that off.
You're not pimping out my cat, Kev. What the fuck are you talking about?
Thanks, because he pimps at his angel anyway, so we'll be fine.
Right, fair enough.
There's Corbett's views on how I sounded on the radio. It sounded worse than he did on this, so it does on this class.
Just for everybody, I'll put the thing in the chat, but you can't see me because my webcam is not in this house. So yeah, probably lucky. That graphic of me with the Tom Cruise sunnies on is better than I look in real life. So yeah, just enjoy it, folks.
Understatement.
Is it the fact you're back in another sex dungeon?
I can neither confirm nor deny any of that, Kev. Just leave
fine.
my sex dungeons out of things. Thanks.
Swiftly moving on. Yeah. So welcome to This Is My Story, your Hearts podcast that is, what does it Corbett says, absolute miles off it, and our opinions are our own. So we've got a few things to go through. Obviously, our weekend that we witnessed the game on Sunday. We've got a few headlines to go through, and Kev, you've got a tam down for us. Is that correct? Of sorts. I don't know what you mean by of sorts. So, do you want to just kick us off? Why don't we just go with it then? Why don't we go with that?
Is at all? This is where Corbett will be watching YouTube and shouting and screaming at his TV screen, iPad, mobile, whatever it may be. He's actually listening to us on. But this week, just as a little bit of a difference because there's only the three of us, and the other week there it was the Player of the Year awards, in which I went with the Player of the Year for Heart of Midlothian over the last 10 years. So we started doing Player of the Year back in 2012-2013 season.
Oh God.
We'll go through that particular list and see how much of the memories that we have in regards to who collected Player of the Year from the season 2012-2013 onwards.
Cool.
So that is what Tam Down is for this particular week. Ideally, I would like to go from this year and then go backwards, going between the both of you. And because I am so much of a prick, I'm going to start with you, Andal. So you can start us off with the season of 22-23. 23.
Well, Corbett's just texting saying, can he just make sure that we mention Don Cowie when it comes to this? Because he probably won one in the last 10 years. So give Corbett his points.
No worries. I've got a funny feeling that Corbett will still win more points than Tam.
Probably. I've got no idea. It's not something I pay attention to.
We spoke about it only 2 weeks ago. So who do you think won then in that case? Who do you think won the Player of the Year for this season?
Oh, sorry, for this season. Pardon me.
Yes.
Oh, it was, I know this one. It's Lawrence Shankland.
Correct. So we have off and running. Lawrence Shankland was the winner of Player of the Year this season. Right, Tam, for season 21-22.
Has to be Craig Gordon, I think.
Craig Gordon. Well done, Tam. You've got a point.
Okay.
For the season before that, Ando?
Oh, God. Wasn't he Liam Boyce, was it?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't your favourite player.
I think it was the same again, to be honest. It was Craig Gordon again, wasn't it?
It was. Gordon won it back-to-back seasons. 20. That puts you in the lead, Tam.
Yes!
Fuck off, man. I've had enough of this.
So, moving, there was no, of course, Player of the Year for the season of 2019-2020 due to a certain flu or cold that was travelling itself around the world. So, 2018-2019, Ando.
Me again?
Well, you never got the last one, so...
But I stole that. That was a stealer off the point.
Anyway, to be truthfully honest with you, Tam.
2018-19, remind me, what season was that?
So that was not bad season under a certain dinosaur that we had as a manager at the time.
Okay. I will say Stephen A. Smith.
Correct.
Oh.
Stephen A. Smith was your Player of the Year for the season of 2018-2019, 2-2. So moving back to yourself, Tam, we're looking at Player of the Year for 2017-2018, and I've got a few clues should we require it for this one.
I'm going to put a guess out there, just in case, but I think it's Christoph Berra.
It was Christoph Berra.
Fuck off.
My clue for that one was Corbett's second most hated player. 3-2 to you, Tam. Moving backwards into the season of 2016-2017, Ando, any ideas?
Well, the comedy answer would be Connor Salmon, but it's not. Don Cowie? No, it's not Don Cowie.
It's not.
Fuck.
You're right.
Because you're getting into the time when we had absolute shite-hawk players back then.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Fuck. I'm going way out on a limb here. I'll go for Bjorn Johnson.
You went out on a limb and you're still going, mate. Not even close.
Fuck, I've got no idea.
Not even close.
No idea.
Tam?
Another guess.
Oh, yeah.
I maybe Lafferty. Did he play 16-17?
He would have been there about that time, yes, but you're wrong.
Okay.
Jamie Walker.
Ando, I'll go back. Well done, Ando. Jamie Walker won it in 2016-2017. Year before that, and it's back to Tam.
15-16. That was the first year back.
Yes.
Right. First year back.
Was it?
I'm going to say Jamie Walker again, actually. I think it might be.
Nope, was not Jamie Walker in the season of 2015-2016. Ando?
Between maybe two for me, I'll go for maybe Juanma. Or, no, fuck it, Juanma.
Nope, it was not one. I'll tell you that it was an overseas player. Tam, may help you, but probably no.
Osmond So?
Nope.
He was kind of away, wasn't he? By Jan... I don't know.
I'm not sure when he left. I think it was that particular winter, or
It was the next year or something, wasn't it?
summer. Ando, any ideas for 2015-2016? If not, I can give a further clue. As I say, an overseas player played with the club.
Did he score an absolute raker of a goal at Easter Road?
No, he didn't. But he did score a decent goal against Hibs at Tynecastle.
Jim?
Arnold June. Well played, mate.
Okay.
Well played. And moving back then to 2014-2015. Tam?
Repeat my guess if Osmond so.
It was not. Ando, any ideas on 2014-2015? So the season that we had in the Championship.
I would have said Osmond so as well, if I'm honest, but I'm going to be cheeky here and go, I like to Gomez.
Good shout, actually. But no, wasn't Gomez.
You've read that straight for the comments.
I have read it straight from the comments, mate. It popped up at the same time, so I was like, I'm having that. I don't have... no.
I've got a guess.
Actually.
Before it comes up, then.
Well, it's your turn, mate.
Danny Wilson.
It was not Danny Wilson.
He might be the year before, to be fair.
So there you go. I won it, mate. So there you go. I'll even give you a clue.
Okay, cool.
But 2014-2015, Ando, any ideas?
Maybe Callum Patterson if he was still there.
He would have been still there, but I think he won the young player of the season that season, but not player of the year. I will give you another clue. Proper Hearts boy. Tam, any ideas?
Hearts boy.
There's a few of them.
Come on, Tam.
I don't know if there was.
2014-2015, proper Hearts fan. Hearts through and through.
It's Jamie Walker again.
Well played, Ando.
See. Fucked it.
Still in the front. 2013-2014 season. And it's Ando's turn this time.
Oh, God, man. Like, so we're getting into...
So the season we were demoted after our 15-point. However, had we not had that 15-point deduction, we would have ended up 1 point ahead of Hibs. They would have been relegated. Oh, wait a minute. They were anyway.
Steve-O?
Nope. Nope.
McDonald.
Jamie McDonald pulls his cell level. So it goes back. And we've now got 2012-2013 season. First season that the Player of the Year was actually contested for, if you can class it a contest, but anyway. But Player of the Year for 2012-2013.
To me. Templeton. Oh no, Templeton though.
It wasn't Templeton. Ando?
Big Zal.
Any ideas? Big Zal, correct. Well played, Ando. So, yeah, that's your full running list of Player of the Year. 2012, 2013, Zaliukas. 2013, 2014, Jamie McDonald. And 14-15 was Jamie Walker. Arnaud Jum took the plaudits in 2015, 2016. Walker with his second award for Player of the Year in 2016, 2017. Berra in 2017, 2018, which would have cheered up Corbett in no end. 2018, 2019 was Stevie Naismith. None, as I say, the following season, but then Craig Gordon with back-to-backs, followed by Lawrence Shankland this year.
What's the scores?
And it was yourself by one,
oh, hey.
Ando.
Looking at the comments, to be honest, I think Corbett won.
Would win, but right, so.
Although he said you're welcome, Tam, after he said McDonald, but we were already on the last one by then, so get up.
He's involved. So there we go. And as I say, my only question then in regards to talking about Player of the Year is, of course, Shankland won it. But has anybody seen the team of the season for this particular season? I can't believe that.
The PFA one, yeah. I can't believe that either. No. Who's the first front three? It's Van Veen, Kyogo, which is understandable, and
Duke.
Fucking Duke. Yeah.
Fucking.
As was. They're all a load of pish, man, aren't they?
Anyway, but I get it that Motherwell are pish and the boy Van Veen scored about 20 goals anyways, but you still would have thought that Shankland would have probably taken that, but maybe he's shatting somebody's cornflakes, I don't know.
Well, as you rightly say, it is all pish. And
100%.
was it like a PFA writers thing or something like that?
Oh,
Nah, the players.
so it's like just effectively how I'll polish your balls if you polish mine.
Yeah, fuck them all. Right, moving on.
It's one of those things. It's the same every year. It comes out to get loads of folk get annoyed about certain players not being in it. Loads of fans get annoyed about certain other players being in it, type thing. It doesn't really matter, is it? It's happens every year, doesn't it? So, aye.
Regard as a Scotland football team. So there you go.
Absolutely. So, got the headlines to cover. Obviously, last week on Friday, we heard the news about season tickets. So, firstly, what I say, well done to the club, because there's two things there that I was quite impressed with seeing straight away. First of all, obviously, the season tickets being frozen for another year. That's 2 in a row on it. 3.
3.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, 3.
Oh yeah.
Which is brilliant. Obviously, cost of living crisis, everything like that. Quite right to give back to the fans and keep the prices the same, to be fair. Other than that, Gorgie Ultra section, we as a podcast, we've been screaming out for it since the start, all coming around, to be honest. And our biggest fan of it is obviously not on tonight, but he would have a lot more to say. But first initial thoughts for you boys?
Want to go, Kev?
I think it's ideal. I think it's a good. I think it's a much needed element to the stadium. We've already spoke about it, as you rightly say on the podcast, that when we go away and we're able to get the lads congregated together, you're able to actually create an atmosphere. You've got, I think probably a good sort of 30, 40 boys that are there week in, week out, especially for away games. Probably what you'll find next season, because you're able to pull everybody together, you will have a half decent section in there. We've spoke as well about how the fact that the police themselves. I think there's a lot of that will be required given the section that they're actually being given, and the proximity to the actual pitch itself. So the lads are going to self-police that. Great, good on them. And they know perfectly well they're no stupid. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that if one or two make an absolute mess of it, it spoils it for not just the rest of the Gorgie Ultras, but it spoils it for the rest of the folk that are actually in the stadium as well, because the majority of people are actually seeing the benefit that they actually bring. So yeah, good on the club.
Absolutely. End of the day, we've went on it for how long? But the atmosphere is fucking morgue half the time at Tynecastle, and this season it's been better than it's been for years, to be honest with you. So I'm glad to see it that way. Ando, any thoughts?
Yeah, nothing but positives. I think it's just it's the right thing to do, because if you've got the guys all sat in one area, it's just it'll just amplify the noise, won't it? And it, like anything else, it's like what it takes is one person to start a chant, and if you've got a wee decent congregation of the lads going absolutely bananas, then you know what, it can only be a good thing. And the whole self-policing thing, I don't think you have to worry about that, because it's like we're not too stupid enough to think that the club will just shut it down as quickly as they set it up, if there's any fucking about. So yeah, I don't think we're getting anything to worry about, but that sums up from me. Very much welcomed.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing it, to be honest. It'll be well done. Kev, obviously you advised me. I didn't even know much about it, but obviously the people were being moved from where they were. Fair play to the club for also, what is it, freezing their prices for another 3 years at the same price as the Gorgie stand.
So so what they've said is that anybody that's within that particular section of the Gorgie stand to themselves, should they wish to move their seat, some of them may want to stay within and enjoy the atmosphere and what the Gorgie Ultras are creating. Fine, good on them. But others who do wish to relocate within the stadium will be allowed to do so as of the 5th of June, which I think is the cut-off for renewing season tickets, at which point they'll be able to choose wherever it is they wish to sit within the stadium, and wherever they sit for the next 3 seasons will be at the price of where they are, or what that seat would be in the seasons to come. So I don't know what the actual prices are for that particular section. Let's just say it's £200. That means that for the next 3 seasons, even if they were to pick a platinum seat or seated area within the stadium, they're just going to play that £200, which I think is a nice gesture from the club. I think, I don't want to say that they had to do something like that, but I think what steps that they've taken to accommodate is the right move and the right steps ahead. So good on the club for not only giving the ultras a section, but understanding that there's probably a few people that will want to move and not then taking them, because they may have chosen that area because of the price.
Kev, let's pretend for a minute that I'm a fucking idiot and that I didn't listen to everything you just said and that I didn't read anything to do with any of that. See, in terms of the moving window, do you need to buy your season ticket first and then move, or do you have to wait until the renewal window is closed, then buy it, and then you get the chance to move?
So if you are an existing season ticket holder in the section that's going to be for the used by the ultras, you need to buy your season ticket
and then fuck off out of Dodge.
And then they will, after the 5th, they will come out to, as I understand it, they will come out to every season ticket holder in Section X and say, are you wishing to stay in your seat or do you wish to move? If you wish to move, these are the options that are available. I
don't think they've got a really wish to move point, to be honest with you. I think they either move or that's it. You have to be part of the ultras already, as far as I'm aware. And as far as they come with the
Corbett's described it very well in the group chat. All 175 seats will be given to the ultras. The 175 moved have the choice of any seat in the ground outside that section for the same price as their current ticket for the next 3 years. And he also underlines that with you'll be nowhere near it.
Definitely not. But what I didn't realise there was 175 in the Gorgie Ultras, so my apologies. That have season tickets existingly, or currently, should I say.
What I would say is I've seen some people online, and people need to realise that the seat you sit in is not your seat, if you know what I mean. I just seen some stuff on Facebook and it was like, this is my seat for 10 years, and it's like, well, it's not really your seat. You rent it for the club for a season, on season.
Like,
I'll just say
Perry
we can move on for that.
Perry has put this pedantry in the bin, please. Let's not fucking argue the toss. No, you don't own the seat because it's not your fucking house, is it? Yes, you're paying a rental on the seat, but Corbett's been quite clear in the chat on what it actually is. Let's go.
Not like you to stop the pedantics here, Ando. I'm impressed. You're a changed man.
Try to keep this on the rails, boys. That's all.
Aye. No, but as we say, fair enough. And it is the start of June that you were renewing. I've not even done it yet. I need to do it next week or tomorrow, to be honest. But aye, right. Let's get on to it. We've been holding off, but Sunday, what was the thoughts pre-match? I know we were all really good and got really excited for the game and all. Were there really early, ready to go. But with none of the three of us actually going to the game in the end. But what was the thoughts when the team came out? How we were going to start?
Came out again. There wasn't any real changes in that team that I didn't expect. If I'm being truthfully honest, I was just actually about to leave the house to go to the game when, unfortunately, working the weekend on call, I got pinged to attend work, which was just a pain in the tits. But that's just one of these things. But I was quite happy with the starting 11. I don't think there's any changes I would have made in the starting 11 itself. I think it sort of picked itself after the game against Ross County, and from the point of view that Atkinson, of course, had a bit of a knock in the game against Ross County that may have been the reason as to why he didn't start the game.
For me, I think it was more the defensive attributes Atkinson has that he wasn't playing personally. I don't really like James Hill either from what I've seen so far this season, but I thought on Sunday actually he didn't do much wrong, to be honest with you. I thought he was actually decent. Even for just his long throw, to be honest. I suppose that caused quite a bit of problems about the game. What about the actual start though, Ando? Obviously I felt, me personally, it was a continuation from the county game. started pressing high quickly, try to get the ball out up the field as quick as possible. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly that. It was they were moving the ball with intent, plenty tempo, plenty energy, and it was kind of. I don't know, back to this other time, but the game where we beat them 4-0 at our bit when it was 2018, whenever it was, it wasn't as fast as that, but it was getting on to something like it. So it was shutting down, no messing about, which is that's what you want in every game. None of this like passive, just go backwards to go sideways to go backwards to go maybe a little bit forward to go sideways to go backwards again. None of that. It was just straight at the traps, get up in their faces, and I think from the first 15 seconds, because I was sat back on the couch with a beer, just getting ready to shout at the telly and be just my usual doom and gloom miserable self. But within the first sort of 30 seconds, I'd say I was sat forward on the couch like that. Fucking hell, go for it. You could see that they were up for it and lapping it up. So it was the best start to a game we've had in a while.
100%. I absolutely agree. It was. You can clearly see what Naismith's trying to do as well, and it's not give the ball to Civic, give the ball to Rolls, play it back to Clark, keep the ball as much as possible for no actual point in the movement. Do you know what I mean? I thought like he is really trying to get these wing backs high as well, which is really helping us going forward. And with that sort of 4 attackers on the field as well, I really like the way that looks. Obviously, Oda continued how he played against County, I felt. I don't know if you were the same, but obviously he had to come off and make way later on. We'll go into that. But I even thought Barry Mackay started quite lively. That was the sort of best sort of half an hour we've seen for him in a few months anyway. Or a lot of months, some would say.
I think from his starting position as well makes a big difference. Where he does hold that line a little bit more. I guess that's something that Naismith's actually said to him is for the first at least 20 minutes of the game. I want you to hold the line, stay as wide as possible, so that we do sort of stretch the opposition. And he done that. And there was a couple of times he actually unleashed one or two as well. That tends to show a bit of freedom that the players have actually got at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. I think, as you say, like the freedom, because he's got Shanklin, Janelli, Oda running off him, you're right there. He's holding that line is actually, I never thought it that way, but it creates so much more space and it is decent, really good. Obviously, the only thing was we didn't really create many chances. I don't think there was a shot on target for us, was there?
No, there wasn't.
Nah. But at the same time, there wasn't a Celtic shot on target until later in the game, later in the second half, later in the first half, sorry, which showed, I thought we essentially dominated the sort of first 40 whatever minutes it was until the sending off. Personally, I thought we sort of managed to control them from getting out of there with their quick attack as well. And that says a lot because defensively we've been absolute honking this season, so big change there too. Right.
I think there was also a couple of elements in regards to the passing ability of the midfield, especially Devlin. I thought Devlin's passing on Sunday was horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, I know perfectly well that's not what he's there to do. He's not there to, be this creative player that's going to put a slide rule pass in play to a Janelli or Oda or whatever. But even just some of the simple passing, I think, was a little bit off for Devlin. And I know that I think there was a few people on Twitter said that if his passing was better, he wouldn't be at Hearts. Yeah, there's probably a bit of that. But I thought that was my only sort of downside in regards to the first half, or for the first 44 minutes of the game, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's a weird one with Devlin. Like, there's some games he'll be absolutely fine on the ball, passing it about, making the right decision. But as you say, everything about his play, except the passing on Sunday, was perfect. Like, he was winning second balls, winning first balls, being a nuisance, being the classic pest that he is, and everything that we love him for. But as you say, there was some balls that was just a 20-yard parallel pass, and it's going out the park. And you're like, what's going on? What's going on? Right, I've tried to hold off on it.
Go.
Ando, you want to kick us off? 45th minute?
Well,
Talk to me.
There's not very much you can say apart from SFA wank wank wank, and that's the obvious thing. I'll be honest, I don't know who's more at fault here. Whether it's Willie Collum or Nick Walsh, I don't know. I don't think that Willie Collum has to draw Nick Walsh's attention to the incident in the first place, because it's just a tangle of legs. There's no malice in it at all. It's just one of these things. But then Nick Walsh, as soon as Collum gives him the instruction to go over to the monitor, there's almost like and I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the pundits on the Sky coverage had said, I forget who it was, who basically said there's almost a willingness now to send people off for that sort of stuff. Is that if there is an opportunity to show the red, then they will show the red. And I think that's exactly what you've seen there. I don't think it was a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. It was a yard and a half, 2 yards outside the box. He still needs to get control of the ball. He still needs to beat Xander Clark. Bearing in mind that the speed at which that ball is moving, he's closing the angle all the time. It's not a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity by any manner or means. So for that reason, VAR should never have intervened, and therefore shouldn't have been a red card. It's as simple as that.
I agree completely. I don't even know what else you have to add. It's not a single Celtic player would have complained had that just been a free kick. Or they didn't.
They would, because that's just what they're like. But
no, the players on the pitch wouldn't have complained. Ange Postecoglou wouldn't have complained. The fans maybe would, because they're the worst people in the world. But aye. But for Willie Collum to actually get involved there, he's saying Nick Walsh has made a clear and obvious error, but there was nothing clear and obvious there. And then, as you say, Ando, it's not a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity either. You've got Kai Rose coming in on the angle, Xander Clark coming in. What you got? What hope you got, man? Exactly.
There's been a few people have said that, if Mayera gets to the ball before Rose, he actually cuts it across, he squares it. But Sibic would have cut that ball out by that point.
Yeah.
We've all said about it. It's the fact that there's no clear goal scoring opportunity in my mind. Had that been the other way around, would there be as much of a thing said about it? And this is just sitting on the fence, would Collum or any other VAR referee said to Nick Walsh, you need to go and have a look at that? Had it been in the other box? I think we all know the answer to that question.
Yeah, well, there is that. I don't want to answer that there. But you're right, though. The whole VAR thing, it was using that image until he was brought down. But if you carried on another second, you are seeing Civic catching up with Kyogo.
It's not even that.
Rose being another bit closer.
It's not even that for me, Tam, right? So I'm on the SFA's website just now, right? So when can VAR intervene? And in their own words, only in specific circumstances when the VAR thinks the on-field referee team has made a clear and obvious error or missed a serious incident relating to one of three things, right? So first of all, the first point there is it a clear and obvious error? No, it's not. Right, because he gave the yellow card, so it's not a clear and obvious error. He made a decision based on an infringement. That's fine. Move on with our lives, right? So the next 3 points are a serious incident relating to a straight red card, penalty area incidents, which it doesn't apply to, and goals, which it doesn't apply to. So it must be the first part, which is straight red card. It's not a straight red card because, in my opinion, and again, this is where me and Colum are different, but obviously the difference is my parents are married and Willie Collum is, well, you get what I'm getting. You get where I'm going with that. But it's not a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity for me because of the angle and the speed of the ball and the fact that the Celtic player doesn't actually have it under control at that point. So, nah, get the whole fucking thing in the bin. Absolute nonsense.
And
Ken, imagine wanting VAR in the first place, Kev?
Well, I mean, I think I will still stand by that. I think the problem is that you've got guys like Willie Collum who are, is there an agenda there? Well, you could argue that. You could argue.
I think
what you said, though. If you actually go back and watch the actual video footage of the incident, and we have seen it God knows how many times this season, not just in Scotland, but across Europe, probably worldwide as well, is the amount of times that players will actually congregate around the actual referee in regards to a decision that the referee has actually made. Not one Celtic player turns or goes to the referee to contest the yellow card.
Yeah.
Them playing the game clearly seen it as a yellow card. So again, where's the clear and obvious error? There's not one. But hey, I could start conspiracy theories if you want me to. It's not a problem.
Already started. In the YouTube chat, Liam L basically saying genuinely believe they weren't, and I take it he means the SFA, or not wanting the League One Ibrox. But what
100%.
difference does that make? Because to the best of my knowledge, is there going to be any Celtic fans in Ibrox for that game?
0.
So what's
again? There's certain websites and things out there that are saying that there will be Celtic fans in attendance, but they'll probably take that with their own life. Would be my thoughts.
I don't want to know the websites you've been on, Kev. Let's just carry on with that.
Says the man with the dodgy tash.
Aye. And obviously, I think you've seen the day. Did you see the? I don't know if it's confirmed, but it was Daily Record that were reporting it. But we're not going to reappeal, which to me makes sense after the Shinnie incident, the other one.
because
it means that he can't play on Saturday against St Mirren, but then he's banned for the game against? No, he doesn't play against St Mirren and Rangers, but he's available for Aberdeen and Hibs. Is that right? It's a real strange sort of circumstance behind it all.
is it not that if you get a straight red card, it's a 2-game ban?
So yes, it's not, but it's not. This is what I'm saying. It's not 2 consecutive games, I believe. There's something about it in the evening news. I did read it earlier.
Maybe it's
on.
only an immediate. In fact, if it's a straight red card, you miss the next game. But then, if your points total goes over a certain threshold, that's you. You've then activate another ban, don't you? But I'd have thought it would just be more than one game. But I'm not close enough
I
to.
thought it was just the next 2.
That absolute fucking bunch of wanks from Hampden. I'm not familiar enough with the rules to be able to tell you whether I'm spouting shit or not. Just assume that I'm wrong, because I usually am.
Yeah, it says here, so Cochrane is automatically suspended for Hearts' league trip to St Mirren this Saturday, which is right, as you say, Ando. But because he's already been sent off this season, also against Celtic in August, another game is added to the punishment. But that game takes effect 14 days after his latest red card, meaning Cochrane must also sit out the penultimate match of the campaign away to Rangers on May the 24th. So
Fair enough.
Against St Mirren on Saturday, is able to play against Aberdeen a week on Saturday, can't then play against Rangers on the Wednesday night, but is available for Hibs on the Saturday.
It's just I
suppose out of the 4 games that you'd want him to be suspended for, you'd probably take those 2, to be honest with you.
the whole thing is just a shambles, man. It's like the SFA in this country, right? Somebody just needs to go through to Hampden and just start ice picking the spines of every single fucking one of that mob, right? They like that.
It was you saying before this, don't say the C word because we might get demonetised.
Look, I'm just trying to find a way out of this solution. Look, I'm perfectly sane, I'm perfectly lucid, but if you read about some sort of a mental Hampden attack in the papers, it may or may not have been me, just saying. But it's the whole thing is just it's a shambles from start to finish from the SFA. It has been for years. It's just they're not fit for purpose. And this is maybe me reacting to a red card that absolutely spoiled what could have been what was a brilliant spectacle of a game. But Rangers get it, Celtic get it, we get it, Hibs get it. It's just they're just a bunch of over officious wankers. That's all it is. It's pathetic.
Can't disagree. Yeah. Did I talk about any other rest of the game? Or was that
I'll be honest.
That pretty much was game over for
me.
me.
That was it.
So,
we come back for half time. I watched it for maybe 5-6 minutes, and then after that I started to rage quit. I can feel my blood levels rising, so I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm just going to turn this off.
I think, what I caught in the second half, I think because we had taken Oda off, if I'm being honest with you, I would have maybe kept Oda on and taken Mackay off.
Fair.
What's that? Because I felt that Oda was always wanting to run at them. And I think down that side, he seemed to have a wee bit of, a wee bit of gains against, I can't remember who it was that was playing left back for them. Wasn't it Ralston?
Taylor. Ralston, I did feel in the first half we were getting more joy down Ralston's side, to be honest.
Stop copying me, Tam.
I don't know if that's because it was.
I've already warned you for this in the group chat. So everything I was saying in the group chat, Tam has beat me to it, probably because I had more beers than he had. But I think on Saturday, the weekend, we've seen signs of why Oda is, was potentially signed in the first place. I think there's a lot there to like. Because let's be honest, up until Nielsen was shown the door, he only ever played in fits and starts. It was a very limited amount of minutes. And I think, don't get me wrong, there are lots of things that he needs to work on. His first touch, sometimes it's a coin flip. It can be murder. If he has to take maybe one too many touches in some cases as well. And then his final ball is not great all the time. However, there's enough there that makes me look at him and go, fucking hell, you know what? There's a really good player under there if he can just fine tune all of the little bits. But then again, that just comes down to practice and game time, doesn't it? So I think if he gets a good run between now and the end of the season, gets a goal or a couple of assists or something to maybe boost his confidence a little bit, I reckon we'll have a right hell of a player next season. Genuinely think that.
With what you said there, Ando, at the start as well, I think that's the reason why he came off.
Yeah.
He's not as experienced under those circumstances. He's got that rawness about him, which I like, but I think for me, he was the only real option in terms of a threat who has scored goals previously. Yeah. Not just to disagree with you, Kev, but I think that's the reason was the thinking behind it.
You need more than Kev done it. Just for everyone else that isn't watching YouTube. How many fingers did you hold up there for Tam? Just a two.
Just two for
I'll tell
Tam.
you now, mate, you're going to need more than 2 fingers for him. That's more like it. Right. Anyway, moving on.
Script, that one. To be honest with you, I had to leave the house at this point. I've not even watched it back because apparently Neil McCann was a bit of fanny on the sports scene highlights as well. So, but anything else from the second half you really want to point out? Any performances? I thought we did seem, the bits I seen, we still seem pretty solid. It's just, as we've all said, tired legs seem to kick in.
I think if you look at like some, not that I've chewed over it in any great detail, but if you look at the total amount of shots on target that Celtic had across the games, only 3, right? So the 12 shots in total versus our 7, and 3 shots on target for them versus our 0. And it's fairly matched. Corners, we had 1 more than they did. So I think on balance, even though I didn't see the majority of the second half, the reading of the stats will tell you, okay, fair enough, we pretty much had them contained. But then the whole point is with Celtic is that they get the ball. They're like Man City. They get the ball, they work it from side to side, and they run at you. It's with a player missing, that just puts an extra load of sort of strain on the players that are left, and you're going to get tired out, right? So especially if it had been a player sending off in the last 10 minutes, fine, but they're just going to work you for the second half, and that's eventually what they've done. Is essentially it's a war of attrition at that point. I
agreed. To be honest, they are ridiculously good at the minute.
They're a good side.
The way Ange Postecoglou's got them playing is ridiculous. Really, really just hope some English Premier League team comes in for him and goes, can we take him off your hands? Because they're just getting better as well, which is
he takes all his
infuriating.
Takes all his foreign imports with him as well, because there's quite a lot of players in that team that you have to like. But anyway, then we're not going to sit and wax lyrical over Celtic. Fuck them, I hate them. And let's move on.
Agreed. Connor makes a good point here. So 3 games in, what do you think? Naismith, would you give him opportunity? Is he a man to take us forward? We've seen that's a better performance than I've seen us play against Celtic.
My opinion on it is you get one for free, and this is the same for everything in life, right? Someone's allowed to be a cheeky bastard to you once, and then they get that one for free. After that, they get a slap. And for me, I think the one for free he got was the derby defeat to Hibs, but he'd never really changed anything. And I get there's it's less than a week or however long it was. His feet aren't really even under the desk yet. And so I'm encouraged by what I've seen. If I look at other potential, we could go out and we could get, I hate using this phrase because it's wanky, but we could go out and get a marquee signing as a manager. We can afford a little bit better these days, but I genuinely don't know if they would be any better than what Naismith is, based on the games we've played. Like, fair enough, you play Ross County, you're expected to beat Ross County by that much. The fact that we did beat Ross County by that much just basically tells me that he's probably got the team playing back up to scratch. We were the most competitive we've been against Celtic since 2018 when we... Oh, in fact, okay, arguments to say that maybe we were competitive against them in the 4-3 game, but I think in terms of the style of football that we played, I think we're the most competitive we've been against the old firm at Tynecastle since 2018. That, again, is also a big tick in the box. The one for free that he's going to get away with, and I'll mention no more about it, is the Derby Day defeat to Hibs. So for me, the arrow's pointing up. His stock is rising. I'm quite happy with him. And if he continues getting a tune out of them, I'll be honest, I think third place is gone. We've covered this already, so not going to over elaborate on that. But I think if he continues getting a tune out of them between now and the rest of the season, and we give it a really good fucking run, even if we don't get there, I'd be inclined to reward him with a permanent deal, if I'm honest.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm more and more to that sort of viewpoint as well, because ultimately you're saying we could go for a marquee signing, but we're going to get somebody that's realistically probably got sacked for their last job, with their confidence maybe in the bin. Are you maybe better going for that younger, passionate sort of someone with a bit more drive and a bit more modern ideas? Who knows? What do you think, Kev?
I've been quite happy with the way. I'm not going to labour over points that Ando's made. I agree with what he said. I think the games that are really going to stand out for me in regards to what happens in the, let's class it as the that close season point, with regards to Naismith, is how he performs in the next or 3 of the next 4 games. I think if we go to Paisley on Saturday, and I know we're going to talk about that shortly, and gets again a performance and a result, then that only bodes well in regards to him getting the permanent contract on it. But look what that sort of what that's done for Aberdeen in regards to Robson. He's came in, he's had his own ideas, he's turned probably the way in which they played, and it's been successful for them. There's nothing to stop that same thing happening at Tynecastle for Naismith. And I did read last week that him and Savage have already sat down and spoke about areas they need to improve the team in. So we're seeing something in the way in which he plays that they're impressed with, understandably, and that's the way they want to move forward. Yeah,
totally. No, I agree, and I think obviously he's one thing we've always beat Robbie with is no bleeding any youth into the team. He's obviously been first hand seeing the B team. There's no right reason why he doesn't know who the best players are coming through, how to make them tick. That's going to be the best way for them to sort of see the next step as well. So hopefully it comes down to that as well.
Another thing, sorry to cut over your time. Just another thing I wanted to add is that if you look at where we've been, right, and like, what's the phrase? If you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got, right? So like we had Craig Levine, right, got his critics, understandably so, not great football, park him. You get Robbie Nielsen, not too much different, was trained from the same I suppose, school of thought that trained Levine, right? So it's almost a copy and paste with slight differences here or there. I think the difference between anybody that's come before versus Naismith is that Naismith is a young modern manager, and then if you look at other similar young modern managers, just to use that phrase, Barry Robson at Aberdeen, right? So he's getting a tune out of their players. Is there something? I don't know. I don't want to say put all our eggs in one basket, but I think it might be the case that, you know what, Aberdeen have just rewarded Robson with his performances with a deal, and rightly so. I think he's fully deserving of it. Then I think, just to emphasise my previous point, I think there's maybe something in just I don't know if it's like almost like the modern way that they're being. They're doing their badges, or the new approach to football or something like that. I think what we've seen is maybe between the transition between Nielsen and Naismith is almost just a complete change of tactical acumen, and I'm all for it. So, right, get rid of any of that old school way of thinking, because the new way forward seems to be the young modern managers, and they all seem to be doing quite well. So I'd be inclined to just fucking go with it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think, as you say, you said just there, Kev, it comes down to the 3 out of the 4 games. Although I do feel if we are going to get third, which again I agree with you, Ando, it's probably done already.
Yeah.
We will have to get something at Ibrox, essentially. We're going to have to realistically get 10 points and hope for the best at that. Even, I would say.
Yeah.
In the next 4 games,
we need to get something in Glasgow, and we need Aberdeen to fuck up
somewhere. Yeah, exactly. As long as we are, the good thing about Sunday there was by the 5 o'clock we were no different place than we were at 11 o'clock. Exactly. So that is one thing. So yeah, we will see. So Paisley, Saturday. What are we thinking? Same team again? Any changes you make?
You have to make a change. Cochrane's suspended.
That's very true, but that's a straight one, is it? I'm guessing straight one Kingsley, and then
I think it has to be. I didn't have any tremendous problems with Devlin and Haring and the way they started the game for the first half on Sunday. If I'm honest, if I look at that 45 minutes in isolation, bar the incident where the SFA fucked us, I think. What's my thing I always say is don't change a winning team. And for me, I think that if all things had been equal and the SFA hadn't been a bunch of wanks, then we could have probably went on and won that game. Genuinely believe that. So for me, don't change a winning team unless you have to. Cochrane out, Kingsley in. I would keep the rest of it the same, if I'm being honest. There's not anything there that tells me that it needs to change, because what I seen when they were all on the park was one of the best 45 minutes I've seen in a while.
I'd maybe, just for the way I would want to see us play, is maybe have Atkinson for Hill. Just have him a bit higher up, because Kingsley will probably be a bit further back than Cochrane plays.
Fair.
So if you're going on the right wing, try and get a higher up wing back there. That's the only other change I would make. But as you say, yeah, we've seen enough out this team to do it.
Fair.
Hopefully they seem to be a... No, I'm not actually going to say it. Fuck it.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Don't.
Because we've got a great record at whatever this place is called now. What is it?
Is it
St Mirren?
New St Mirren
Stadium.
Park, I think.
Is that what it is?
Cool.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm making that up. I think that might be right, but who cares? Fuck them.
Aye. Shite hole of a place, shite hole of a town, shite hole of a club. So, aye. That's it. Predictions then. Kick us off. Whoever. Kev, go for it.
I really don't know. Head says that Hearts win by 1 goal, so 2-1. Hearts says we go there, play with the freedom that we've seen guys like Oda and Janelli sort of play well over the last couple of games. So the Hearts, says that we win 3-0.
Fucking hell. What's the head say?
Head says it'll be a tight and we'll win it by 1 goal.
Oh, right.
We'll clear it, by 3. But I think St Mirren. We've already stated that St Mirren at home are a fairly formidable team. They set up really they're difficult to break down. Each of their players is coached in a certain way that they know perfectly well where they should be. Do the simple things effectively, then you'll play well as a team, and they have done that under Robinson. I just hope that what we've got now with a fairly, if we can, we know what the team's going to be. It's going to be that 4, allow Devlin to win the ball and Haring to make the passes forward, and then, as you've said right at the beginning, we've got that sort of 4 sort of fairly creative front players that will definitely ask questions of any defence, and we've seen that on Sunday. So from that point of view, as long as everybody stays on the pitch and we don't get shagged by the SFPL and SFA and every other bloody ranks that we talk about week in, week out, I think we should do all right.
Yeah, Ando?
Well, we've only lost 2 out of the last 12 against them, and obviously it's not lost on anyone the fact that our last defeat was about a month ago, there or thereabouts, when they came to Tynecastle. So, but even then, that's one of those fucking weird ones, isn't it? It's like that defeat probably needed to happen, so I'm just going to strike that from history, pretend it never happened, and say that it's only 1 defeat in the last 11. And even then, there's only 3 of them are draws. We've won 2-0, 2-1, 4-2. I think it'll comfortably be another 2-0 away from home. I don't see them causing us any sorts of problems, not if we played the way we did at the weekend. And also, you also have to tune into the fact that, well, fuck it, if Hibs can beat them, we'll fucking beat them by double. Easy.
Yeah. To be honest, I agree with what you're both saying. The only thing I'm just going to premise it with is my prediction will be 2-1 because Curtis may not score.
What have I told you about copying me, Tam? I said this the last one.
And Corbin.
Aye.
Just pointing it out again then. We've all forgot that.
I don't get that feeling this time. I genuinely, before the game the last time, did say, and go back and listen to everybody, did say Curtis may not score. He's not going to do that this time. Not a chance. There will be no goals scored for St Mirren this weekend. Not against us.
God. Right, well, with that bold prediction, we'll call it a day. We've not really had any questions, have we? Or
we've not really been paying attention, Tam. This is your job. However, you are shivering like a wee shitting dog because you're hosting and having to do this at the same time. But
bursting on a pitch as well.
Oh, fucking there's a surprise.
Earlier on was in regards to, I think we were talking about Ginnelly and will he sign a new contract? I think that's a real 50-50 in my opinion.
I'm actually worried about it. I don't think he will at this rate. I think he's going to go some jobber championship team in England and get paid.
In all seriousness, do you think he's his championship level player? Given the fact that he was at Preston and didn't really do anything at Preston, and that's we'll stick in that league for God knows how many years now.
Yeah,
I don't think he's done himself any problems by. This is I think I'm right in saying this is second-hand info, so I'm parroting it from someone else. That this is his record goal scoring season.
Yep.
From him as a personal point of view, I don't think that's going to be a problem. If he can have his best ever personal goals tally in the Scottish Premier League, I think, as Tam rightly says, some jobber English Championship team will take him. However, the only one thing I would say is that I think he was around for a couple of years of nonsense with Nielsen. I'd like to think, and given the relationship he's got with the fans and all that sort of stuff, if he can stay injury free, no one knows. Balls are hairy, no crystal. But I'd like to think he's going to sign another deal and see what happens.
You'd hope so. I suppose it's all up in the air at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
With not having a permanent manager at that
We will find out.
time as well. Yeah. Aye. Well, cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
No problem, Thomas. Glad to be here. Nobody else I'd rather be on a Tuesday night.
Feels like Corbett's been here. He's been in the comments that long, but he must have got bored halfway through before our actual. He just came for the quiz and then fucked off. So.
His daughter's probably painting his face or something like that.
Fucking hell.
Depends on everyone else, but he loves a bit of that anyway, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Original Diva. Back to you, the middle class secondary.
The hostess with the mostess is what you want to say.
On that note, I'm just going to say bye. And cheers for everyone for tuning in as well, and the comments you've given us along the way.
No problem.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.
Cheers, folks. See you later.
Bugger out.